I feel that there's, I think maybe not death metal, but definitely metal in general has become much more mainstream, more widespread. Even the difference from when I was in high school to now. My younger sisters are in high school, and they wear my old metal T-shirts to school, and they don't get picked on the way that I did. It's opened up a lot, I think, but yet it still maintains that extreme underground quality. And I don't know what exactly it is. Do you think it's the music itself, or do you think it's more of an industry related thing as far as labels not being interested in picking up metal bands, or at least no major labels? I guess there were no major labels in the 90s that would even consider signing a death metal band, and that still hasn't changed.
There's a few reasons for that. One is because they haven't changed the guards in the record labels yet. You still got the old people, the old way of thought, and the old-fashioned money still running it. One, so that's going to stay until they pass, or their kids inherit the position, I guess. And you have to remember that this music here, no one understands this music but us. We're the ones who created it. We're the ones who would know who would best suit being pushed to and how to promote it best. It's not us, the musicians, who are running, our fate in that sense, and that needs to stop, of course.
Right.
But if we can't get record labels to know how to promote us, because of one, they can't understand us. They don't know what we are. They can never tell us what we need to do if we're doing it right or wrong to get us forward, because they've never heard our style of creations before. Right. So they're looking at the prototype and hoping that the prototype will just sell itself naturally because it is a prototype. Right. That may have worked in the early 90s for a little bit, but it quickly got stale in terms of how much of a push is going to be made to the world and the public in terms of touring, records. What are we going to do to break ground in terms of videos and radio play and all of the above. So the labels weren't ready for that.
Right.
And what they did was they took it, they got as many of us as they could get to say that they have the stock. They had the stock first to do, but they actually didn't do. They just kept the stock. The stock kept on putting out its jewels, which is our music, and it was never really benefiting anybody. It was just us burning ourselves out, putting out what we could with the hopes of, if we put out this one next song, this one next album, they have to do this now. They're going to put us on this tour, we're going to be on, and you find that time would come and go, and you never would have got to that point where you were always hoping the next step was going to be. And that happens easy, especially when you have 10, 20 bands on a label. Only one or two are going to get any of the major attention.
Right.
And even the attention that they're getting compared to these pop stars who can come out yesterday and be rich tomorrow, the attention that we're getting as the big cheese death metal and a group of death metal bands is minor in comparison to anything anyway.
Right.
So
right.
With that said, that has always been, it took years for us, it definitely took a decade, 2 decades for us to really recognize what's happening, because being that we were one of the first there, every step that had to be made to try and break the industry open, we had to take it. So if you went out on tour and you weren't making any money, it was easy for promoters to tell you, we'll bring you over here to Germany, but we can't pay you, but you'll get this exposure and it'll be great for... At that point, we had to do those things.
Right.
It was our best interest to do that for the sake of everybody who was going to follow us, but we had high hopes. Okay, this has got to work. We're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and we're going to continue doing it until we're rich and we're fabulous and we could take our death metal and go about our business.
Yeah.
That's what that never happened, though.
Right.
And now still to this day, death metal hasn't reached the pinnacle of where it should be in terms of touring. And really touring is the only place you're making money in that now.
Right.
But CD sales, touring, videos, just way of living, promotion.
Right.
We should be the new way that the kids are walking out of their house, how they think, how they move, because we're aggressive. This is a world now where everything is based around greed, war, death, and everything in between. And we're the only genre that really based our whole soul on that.
Right.
So we can be the soundtrack for today's youth.